shine, oh, clear your mind. Rise and shine, oh, rise and shine. Rise and shine, oh. What are you gonna do? Now it's up to you. Will you sit back and stare when it's another morning? All the trees are dancing out there. Time to get rolling. Fill yourself with all that fresh air. Nature is calling, telling you.
Special good morning greeting going out to everybody right now who's tuned in to the Mass Breathers Morning Show. I'm just going to try to get the live shared out and get that process going. So give me a moment. Let me start it out, okay? But of course, you know, we got some lovely things lined up for you today. Later on today, we're going to be joined by Selector Diddy of Sister Soldiers. So make sure you stick around, okay?
We got to work it out, straighten out the doubt. That's what it's all about. And it's never waiting. Yesterday's already gone. Before you know it, tomorrow will be no more. Are you listening? Tell me, are you keeping the score? If you silver you, tell me what's your news. Can you still sit and stare? Rise and shine. Rise and shine, oh. Clear your mind. Rise and shine, oh. Rise and shine. Rise and shine, oh, hey. Got work to do. What's up with you? Don't you even care? Gotta rise, open up your eyes. Oh, it's another morning. All the trees are dancing out there. Time to get rolling. Fill yourself with all that fresh air. Nature is calling, telling you, come get your share. You got a rhythm, it won't come to you if you sit back and stare. Rise and shine, oh. Rise and shine. Clear your mind, oh. Rise and shine. Rise and shine, oh. La 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 la. Moving down, up. Rise and shine. Rise and shine, oh. Rise and shine. Clear your mind, oh. Rise and shine. Rise and shine, oh.
Of course, welcome once again to the Mass Breathers Morning Show. It's a name. Just
never make them see you cry. Smile, just smile. Never let them hold you.
Okay, let's see who's celebrating birthday today. Let's see who is, you know, in that action this morning. I got a couple of people here I'm going to share with you who are celebrities celebrating birthday today. We have the man Travis Scott who's celebrating birthday today. Of course, he's 28 years old. For all my hip-hop lovers out there, especially the young hip-hop lovers, you know who Travis Scott is. He's an American rapper and has been signed to Epic and Kanye West Good Music Production. All right, he is celebrating his birthday today. He was born in Houston, Texas. Big up to the man Travis Scott. Yeah, man. Celebrating his birthday today. All right, so let's see who else is celebrating birthday today. Might touch on a few persons. Let's see here. I gotta shout out this guy right here. One of my favorite players of all time, Isaiah Thomas, is celebrating his birthday today. He's a Hall of Fame point guard for the Detroit Pistons, nicknamed Zeke, who led them to back-to-back NBA championships in 1989 and 1990. He was a 12-time NBA All-Star and a 3-time All-NBA first-team selection. Yep, he's 59 years old. celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to him. So to all the basketball fans out there, Isaiah Thomas is celebrating his birthday today. All right, happy birthday to him. Let's see who else here is celebrating birthday. I'm gonna give you one more person, and then we're gonna see which one of my Facebook friends are celebrating birthday today. One more person. And this guy, I like this guy, Kunal Nehar. Now he is an Indian actor of British origin who is best known as Rajesh Kuthapali on the hit CBS series The Big Bang Theory. Yeah, Rajesh. Yeah, he's celebrating his birthday today. He's 39 years old. Happy birthday to him. I hope he enjoys it to the maximum. He was also the voice of VJ on Sanjay and Craig. He's celebrating his birthday, man. Happy birthday to Rajesh. Yeah, we're gonna call him that. Don't judge me. That's what we're gonna call him. That's what I know him as. So, yeah. We're gonna keep it moving, though. Of course, it's all about the Mass Breathers Morning Show. We're gonna see who here is celebrating birthday within my friend list. Let's see who I want to shout out. All right, let me say happy birthday greetings going out to Aisha Stewart, who's celebrating birthday today, 22 years old today. Also, birthday greetings going out to Nayandi Brains Benjamin, who is 25 years old today. Easy to the man, Wally, aka Clint Samuel. Yeah, man, Selector Wally celebrating his birthday today. Jessica Haddock is also celebrating birthday today. Happy birthday to you. Samista Ellis, happy birthday. Shanique Everbless, happy birthday to you. Mario Phillip, happy birthday. 28 years old today. All right. Licia Sam is also celebrating birthday. So birthday greetings going out to everyone right now. If you're celebrating a birthday, an anniversary, or a special occasion in your life, I just want to take this opportunity to say happy birthday, just to tell you, enjoy it to the maximum, the best way you know how to, especially within these times. Now, guys out there, I want you to share the live. Share the live. Let's get this going. Share the live for me right now, okay? Let's get that on and going right here. It's all about the Mass Breathers Morning Show, and today is a Thursday, so it's a throwback Thursday. I want to ask a question. What direction should I start the throwback music with today? Should I give you some old school dancehall? Should I give you some old school soca? What direction would you like me to take the throwback music into today? I'm giving you a quick opportunity to tell me something right now and see where we're going to go with it. So what direction would you like me to take it right now? Of course, let me know quick as we get into some more music. And also, we're going to take a look at the newspapers across Antigua, and I might just take a look at some papers from across the region as well. So let me know quickly. Let me see. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I think I know what I want to start with. I think I want to start with this one. I know I'm going to get a copyright strike as soon as I start playing it. So you go. So we're going to start with this one. I'm going to start with this one right here. All right. Don't forget, it's all about the Mass Breathers Morning Show. Yours truly, Kenny D, in your company. Let's get everything going with this next song. Hold on. No, that's not the right version of that song there. No. Good song that, but that's not the version I wanted. Let's get this.
Then you need a perfect man. Is that a man left from a walk a man? Man is that a man that can go 10 furlong. Man is that a man left from a walk a man. Me want a man me can tamper me long. I want a real teddy bear, no matter how big I don't care.
A special good morning greetings going out to the folks in the You Know You and Tegan group on Facebook. Locked in right now. You guys are awesome, okay?
Me what a man we can stand for me long. When me find one, me say what a bam bam. Flex out the night and still a go long. Caress me when you bubble, make me do the Armstrong. Come prove to me say you know 1 minute man. Step to me softly just like a real man. And me a request I just your tongue along. Man is that a man me from a walk a man. Man is that a man we can go spend furlong. Man is that a man me from a walk a man. Me what a man we can stand for me long. I have a real man problem. Gotta find a guy who can solve it. One who love to play in many different ways. I want a real teddy bear. No matter how big, I don't care. One who can love me up and pour juice in my cup. Fingernail to the back when him a walk. He walk me all night and make me stomach come up. Me love when them bad some go like them top. Cause when them in a bed, me I go pull them fed up. Come test me now. If I stop me, you a probe. Come make up feel like a touches a move. Day by day, I saw me improve. Me not back from it, and me know me not lose. Man is that a man, me from a walk a man. Man is that a man, if he can go 10 furlong. Man is that a man, me from a walk a man.
This is what I'm going to do. I'll be a friend to the end like Chucky. You understand? Reaching out to the love of my life. Everlasting. See ya. You're the rose in my garden, pretty little flower. Garden angel, fairy godmother. I fly to the air, and also a lover. One and only, that don't need another. You're my heat in the winter, days in my summer. Love and skin, lightning, going by the hour. It's late in my life, when my life seems sober. Lord, my energy, the source of my power. Just like that. On the dream, remember that I love you, no matter always in the brain, going on me life. Girl, you are me queen, you know my loving is pure and clean. So don't you ever reach it, stay by me side. Loving you is easy, my future bright. Oh, and my heart is open wide. The way you make me feel, I just can't hide you.
Voice of the man, Butch Banton in the background. Guys, today we're also streaming live on YouTube as well, okay? So big up to all the folks right now on YouTube, locked in. Taking it nice and easy for a little while. Coming up at 8:30, we're going to take a very short pause for calls. Then we're going to see what's happening in terms of the newspapers across Antigua and a few across the region. Got some stories I want to share for you.
Oh man, you make my day, you make my year. The things that you do show me that you care. Moments of laughter, memories of cheer. Bright to my life and erase my fear. You're my everest. If you go on and fight, you're the end of the season. Day and night, in my own life is strong. I know you are right. So here is another thing I want to highlight.
Mercy, mercy, the man them in the party. The whole of them sexy. Watch them look at follow me. So when we go, the man them a rush me. Just a wait for pretty boy, I want to love me. I need that love, yes I need that love. Show them know me sweet and me sexy. When we go, me say me ever ready. I need that love, yes I need that love. But I don't want somebody loving everybody. So kind of move me. Shine fire when you want it. Only if you make me irate. Oh, I'm on. Yeah. But I can't tell you so. But I guess you didn't know. As I said, a story goes. Baby, now I got the flow. Cause I know it from the start. Baby, when you broke my heart, that I held it all my day. And show you that I'm ready. You lied to me. All those times I said that I love you. You lied to me. Yes, I tried. You lied to me. Even though you knew I died for you. You lied to me. Yes, I cried. Return of the man. Return of the man. Come on. Return of the man. Oh my God. Return of the man. Here I am. Return of the man. Once again. Return of the man. Top of the world. Return of the man. My God. Return of the man. Here I go. So I'm back up in the race. Running thanks to take my spine. Letting all the people know that I'm back to rock the show. Cause what they did, you know was wrong. And all the nasty things you done. So baby, listen carefully while I sing my comeback song. You lied to me. She said she'd never turn on me. You lied to me. But you did. You lied to me. All this pain you said I'd never feel. You lied to me. But I do. Return of the man. Return of the man. Return of the man. Here I go. Return of the man. Return of the man. What's my friend? Return of the man. Oh my God. Let me lay on the line. I got a little freakiness inside. Let you know that the man has got to deal with it. I don't care what they say. I'm not about to pay nobody's way. Cause it's all about the dog in me. I want a freak in the morning, a freak in the evening, just like me. I need a roughneck brother that can satisfy me, just for me. If you are that kind of man, cause I'm that kind of girl. I got a freaky secret, everybody sing, cause we don't give a damn about a thing. Cause I will be a freak until the day, until the dawn. And we can all through the night to the early morn. Come on and I will take you around the hood on a gangster lean. Cause we can any time of day, it's all good for me. Boy, you're moving kind of slow, you gotta keep it up, now there you go. That's just one thing that a man must do. I'm packing all the flavor you need. I got you shook up on your knees, cause it's all about the dog in me. I want a freak in the morning, a freak in the evening, just like me. I need a redneck brother that can satisfy me, just for me. If you are that kind of man, cause I'm that kind of girl. I got a freaky secret, everybody sing, cause we don't give a damn about a thing. Cause I will be a freak until the day, until the dawn. And we can all through the night to the early morn. Come on and I will take you around the hood on a gangster lean. Cause we can any time of day, it's all good for me. Cause I will be a freak until the day, until the dawn. And we can all through the night to the early morn. Come on and I will take you around the hood on a gangster lean. Cause we can any time of day, it's all good for me.
was a Jezebel, this Brixton queen, living a life like a backstreet queen, telling my lies when the truth was clear. I think she knew what I wanted to hear, spin them around like a wheel on fire, walking on tightrope and love's highway. Fatal attraction is where I'm at, there's no escaping me. I just wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel. I feel love when I'm lying in the midnight hour.
Hey, we're gonna go take a very short pause for calls, and then we're gonna come back, take a look at what's happening in terms of the newspapers across Antigua and Barbuda, and we're gonna take a look at a few across the region as well. So stick around. When this song plays out, then we're gonna go take that commercial break. Then we're gonna get into the newspapers. Don't forget that, of course, this whole entire show would not be possible without the sponsorship, without being powered by good companies like ACT and Radio Shack, without companies like Premier Beverages and Antigua Distillery, and without companies like Subway. And if you're desirous of getting on board with the Mass Breathers Morning Show, send me an email. It's Kenassa Dinard, KENNASSADINARD @gmail.com.
Winding me up just to let me down. So emotional.
We going places, man.
There's more to this than meets the eye. A devil woman locked inside. With the full moon rising, I was scared. I think I was possessed. I just wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you. Show you the way I feel love every time your body's next to mine. Something deep inside of me wants to love you endlessly. When you touch, girl, you don't know how it makes me feel. I just can't believe it's real. I can't believe it's real. I just wanna be close to you. Do all the things you want me to. I just wanna be close to you and show you the way I feel.
All right, guys, we're gonna go take this very short pause for calls. In the background, that was the music of the man Maxi Priest. The song is called Close to You. Right after this commercial break, we're gonna see what's happening in terms of newspapers across Antigua. We're gonna read some of the headline articles coming out of the Daily Observer, and I'm also gonna take a look at some of the issues or items in the paper across different islands like Jamaica, Barbados, Trinidad. We're going to check it out. So make sure you share the live, sit back, relax, and enjoy it. It's the Mass Breathers Morning Show with yours truly. We're live on Facebook and YouTube right now. Big up to all my content creators out there. Good morning to you guys as well. And guys, I got some big things coming your way very soon. Very soon. So we're going to talk about it when everything is concrete and everything is good to go. In the meantime, though.
That workout was intense. Let's grab some water.
No problem. I'll go get it. Here you go, Jess.
Think you said you were going to get water.
So, what's this?
I need a water that is just as good as that workout.
Okay.
I only drink Oasis water because it's the most trusted brand and the only locally produced water that is internationally certified.
Wait, a big thing's that?
Yeah, it's the only water that tests in their own lab at Dunbar's and sent to Canada for further testing.
So you would tell me Oasis have a Canadian visa and me not have none yet?
All I'm saying, trust the brand. It's so good, it's asked for by name.
So, what am I to do with this water, yeah?
Well, you can go home and throw them in your iron.
Oasis Water, a product of the Antigua Distillery and distributed island-wide by Premier Beverages.
Subway for you, Subway for me.
Subway Record Street is open for delivery and curbside pickup orders only. So go to the Quick Serve website or download the app for delivery orders. Or call us at 562-5539 or 562-5639 to place your orders for curbside pickup at Subway. We are here for you.
Subway for you, Subway for me.
Hey neighbor, what's up?
Hey man, Karen's complaining about the noise. I'm gonna need you to turn down the music a little bit. Oh, Shack! Is that the new Radio Shack self-powered wireless speaker system? That subwoofer looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And is that the 4-channel mixer with the built-in SD card reader?
Yeah, it's pretty...
Oh my Shack! You got the battery-operated 12-inch PA speaker as well?
Well, Radio Shack is my go-to place for all my DJ and audio gear with the best prices in town.
Awesome! And is that a Bluetooth... Wait, DJ Kenny, are you having a party? How come we weren't invited?
Visit Radio Shack today for all your audio needs. Definitely welcome back. Of course, you know you're tuned in to the Mass Breathers Morning Show with yours truly, Kenny D. Going to be with you up until about 10 o'clock. Let me say a special good morning greeting going out to Selector Didi, who's going to be joining me on the show today. We're going to have a conversation a little later on. But for right now, let's take a look at what's happening in the papers across Antigua and Barbuda. We're also going to take a look at some papers across the region as well. So, yeah, let's get into that. So right now in the Daily Observer, let me get that paper pulled up. Yes. Right now in the Daily Observer, the headline article says, elderly man dies in house fire. Now, I saw some a video posted out on social media with a house on fire, I think in Seaview Farm. We're going to get more on that story. Going to give you a little bit of information on it. Also, on the headline of the paper, something says, what a feat. All right. Graham Walters from Leicester in the UK looks set to have rowed his way into the record books yesterday as the oldest person to row solo across the Atlantic Ocean. The 72-year-old carpenter arrived in Nelson's Dockyard, Antigua, after 94 days at sea aboard the boat he built himself in his front garden. 94 days. Wow. Would he still have been... I wonder if he was a part of the Talisker Whiskey Atlantic Challenge, or does he took off after that. 94 days, that would be about 3 months. Maybe not. Maybe he was after the Atlantic Challenge, but nonetheless, an awesome feat. Another article on the front page, it says, we need grants, not loans, PM Brown tells IMF. Okay. Also, Sagicor donates care packages to nurses on the front line. All right. And man to pay officer $2,500 for stabbing him. Okay. Okay. Let's get into some of the details into these stories here. Elderly man dies in house fire. A 74-year-old man has been killed in a fire in Seaview Farm that left 3 other people homeless. Hilton Floyd perished in the blaze that tore through his wooden family home yesterday. Observer Media understands that there were others in the home at the time the fire broke, and that the efforts was made to rescue Floyd, who was in a wheelchair due to being an amputee. Fire Chief Elvis Weaver said initial reports from one of the occupants suggested that the fire started after an electricity surge. However, investigations are still ongoing. He said the electricity came off, and when it came back on, he heard a big boom, and then he saw his mother running from the house saying, "Fire," Weaver told Observer. Firefighters from All Saints responded to the call that came around 11:30 a.m. on Wednesday. They received backup assistance on scene from others. The home was completely destroyed. Nearby homes were unaffected. I always wonder if a fire is caused by electricity. Let's say it's a fault of something that went wrong with the power that comes from the post or something. Are families compensated for that if they lose their possessions because that's the reason why the house burns down? Now, if you had a faulty electrical item in your home and it caught fire because it wasn't working, then that's different. But I mean, if the power, and this happens, I've seen this happen. If the power company had some kind of a mistake, an error, a surge, something, and that causes a fire, who pays for the house or the damages? We'll find out. We'll get more on this probably in subsequent broadcasts. A next story here: government extends relaxation of curfew restrictions. I know a lot of you may have heard this yesterday. Retail businesses have been added to the list of workplaces permitted to operate under the current state of emergency. During the latest meeting of the Cabinet of Ministers, it was decided that restrictions on such businesses would be relaxed beginning from 6 a.m. today. Information Minister Melford Nicholas said that these businesses will be allowed to open until 6 p.m. each day. He said, as much as possible, we will still want the business to take on board the responsibility of ensuring that they are helping to maintain social distancing, both between the employees and the clients who they are required to serve. The cabinet is also encouraging businesses to offer curbside pickup and delivery services to reduce the need for people to congregate and cluster. The goodwill measure, however, excludes the opening of beauty salons, barbershops, spas, and gyms. Nicholas cited that the level of intimacy that is required in the provision of these services still gives the Ministry of Health some pause and some concern. He is, however, promised a weekly review of these businesses and said once the cabinet is satisfied that there is little to no latitude for COVID-19 to spread, allowances will be made. Meanwhile, beaches will be conditionally open to the public as from Tuesday, May 5th. Residents will be permitted to go to the beach between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m., but only on weekdays. Beach activities are not permitted on weekends or public holidays. Okay? All right. Let's continue here. This is another article in the story in the paper. It says no new cases of COVID-19 for Antigua and Barbuda. Release says the total number of persons with laboratory confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Antigua and Barbuda remains at 24. A release from the Ministry of Health said the most recent results received from the Caribbean Public Health Agency revealed no new cases. It added that of the 11 samples sent to the organization on Monday, 6 were repeat tests. 5 of these were from persons who previously tested positive. 4 of the 5 returned negative, and 1 returned positive. The other repeat test was from a previously negative person who remained negative. Okay? All right, let's continue here. Let me see if I can give you maybe one more article. Now, I spoke about this earlier with the guy who rode across the Atlantic, who quite possibly became the oldest man to do it solo. Little did Graham Walters imagine how much the world would change within 3 months when he began his epic mission to become the oldest man to row solo across the mighty Atlantic Ocean. Back in January, the coronavirus outbreak was weeks away from being declared a pandemic, and lockdowns were still limited to China. The 72-year-old arrival into Nelson's Dock yesterday may have lacked the full fanfare it would have received had it not been for the virus-related social distancing requirements. But the carpenter from Leicester in the UK set foot on dry land, beaming with joy as he staked his claim to what looks set to be a world record-breaking feat once officially certified. That must be interesting, because if he left in January, right? If he left in January and the whole pandemic wasn't a pandemic yet, and he would have been at sea, away from any contact with people and so on and so forth, and he comes now and the whole world is coronavirus, it may be a bit of a shock for him. But glad to see that he's safe and he's on dry land. Good feet there coming in. All right, congratulations to him. I spoke about this. It's the headline was "We need grants, not loans." Prime Minister Gaston Brown tells the IMF. It has nothing to do with us, said Prime Minister Gaston Brown about a decision by the International Monetary Fund to approve US $65.6 million for Dominica, Grenada, and St. Lucia to address COVID-19 challenges. Brown, who has had a wishy-washy relationship with the IMF, wrote to the financial entity earlier this month requesting debt write-offs and grants to help the Twin Island state fight the corona pandemic but received no favorable response from the world body. Okay. All right. If you want more on this and other articles here in the paper, you can go and check out the Daily Observer. I might give you maybe one more story coming out of the paper. Sagicor Antigua donates care packages to nurses on the front line of COVID-19. And that is also a very good look. Yes, so let's take a look at that. Sagicor Life Eastern Caribbean, Inc. recently presented care packages to members of the Antigua and Barbuda Nurses Association who are at the front line of the fight against COVID-19, as well as those who continue to provide general care at the Mount St. John's Medical Center and the community health centers. Unit manager of Sagicor office in Antigua, Esric Sullivan, made the presentation to the president of the ABNA, the Antigua Barbuda Nurses Association, Soria Dupi Winston. At Sagicor, our vision is to be a great company committed to improving the lives of the people in the community in which we operate. If you want more on that, feel free to go check out the Daily Observer. You get more on that article there. That's a good look, man. Good morning to the folks over there at Sagicor. You guys are doing a good job. Awesome. Anybody who can give back, it's greatly appreciated when that can be done. All right. So do I want to share anything else in the Daily Observer? Let me see. Let me just run through a couple of headlines. Committal date set for murder accused Akeem Henry. Okay, let me touch on that a little bit. On July 16, murder accused Akeem Henry is expected to make his second court appearance for his committal hearing. The 26-year-old made his first appearance in the St. John's Magistrate Court on Monday after being charged with the murder of Keon Carr of Christian Street, Grace Farm. Okay, so Akeem Henry is going to go to court. Man to pay officer $2,500 for stabbing him. Yesterday, Abdiel Thomas was sentenced by High Court Judge Anne-Marie Smith to compensate a police corporal $2,500 for wounding him in 2018. The incident took place in October of that year when a woman who has a child with the defendant made a report to a police corporal stationed at the police outpost at the V.C. Bird International Airport. The report was with regard to the defendant picking up her daughter from daycare without permission from the mother who has primary custody of the child. As a result of the report, the corporal called the defendant via telephone but was unsuccessful. So the officer then contacted his mother and asked that they bring the child to the airport. They brought the child to the airport that night and were then asked to dress the child properly before entering the court building. And while the defendant's mother was looking for clothes, Thomas began shouting loudly, "Why are you bring me up here for? No police can talk to me. I fool me pick me." All right. And I spoke about this yesterday. We're going to touch on this a little more. His mother asked him to behave, but Thomas refused. So the officer told him he was placing him under arrest for disorderly conduct. When the officer approached Thomas, he pulled away and punched him until they were wrestling on the ground. The complainant felt Thomas stabbed him twice in the leg and abdomen with a sharp object. Then when the other officers arrived on the scene and carried out a search on the defendant's person, a pair of scissors was found. I'm going to ask another question again. And, I'm not trying to, be a type of way. But are police officers trained with crisis resolution? Is everything escalation? I mean, if a person is being belligerent and whatever, going to arrest that person is going to escalate the situation. Are they trained at de-escalating things and then taking an approach from there? I'm just curious to know. Anyhow, and again, I'm sure a lot of police officers do de-escalate. I'm just saying. Anyhow, that's what we have here in the Daily Observer. If you want more on this, you can go and check it out. I want to take a look at some of the papers across the region, maybe one or two, and see if we can get some articles there. Let's take a look firstly at the Barbados Nation newspaper. Okay, let's take a look at the Barbados Advocate newspaper. And one of the headline stories in that paper is SSA essential workers applauded. And this is pretty cool. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, now the over 600 staff members at the Sanitation Service Authority were given a rousing and festive thank you for the essential service during the fight against COVID-19. Making their way to Widely Depot yesterday morning were Minister of Environment and National Beautification Trevor Prescott, SSA Management and the National Union of Public Workers President Akani McDowell, and Acting Deputy General Secretary Delicia Burke, as they all join with other workers to applaud the efforts being made by the staff to keep Barbados free of garbage. Good job. Prescott said that he could not stand as minister and allow the SSA workers to appear to be transparent, and along with other people in the island, he wanted to express their gratitude and his for the work done. Prescott said that everyone benefits from the service of the SSA. There isn't a society under the sun that could function without the service of a sanitation department, and they deal with the disposal of waste, and sometimes they go beyond the call of duty, Prescott said, and he understands the commitment and encourage of the SSA workers to the country and believe they should be honored for the work they do. Let me also say big ups to the folks who, of course, our solid waste agencies here in Antigua and Barbuda for also doing a good job for making sure that, you know, the country stays clean during this time. Thank you guys so very much. All right, let's get one more article here, and then we're going to blaze up a little bit of music, and then I'm going to be joined by my guest at a little bit after that. 5 healthcare workers among Jamaica's 396 positive cases. Okay, 5 healthcare workers among Jamaica's 396 positive cases. Let's see what that story there is all about. The health ministry is reporting that 5 healthcare workers are among the 396 confirmed coronavirus cases in Jamaica. At a virtual press conference on Wednesday, Permanent Secretary in the Health Ministry, Dunstan Bryan, reported that all 5 are employed to hospitals and health facilities. 7 employees of the Ministry of Health and Wellness have also tested positive for the coronavirus. In the meantime, Bryan said more than 300 samples have been taken from health ministry workers, and the results are now being made available. I am hoping to have those numbers available by tomorrow so that we would be able to have an exact number of the persons in the Ministry of Health and Wellness that have been impacted, he said. According to Bryan, on the 7 ministry staff tested positive, 3 are in hospital and are improving, while the others are in isolation and are doing well. All right, that was an article coming out of the Jamaica Gleaner. Of course, you are tuned in to the Mass Breathers Morning Show right here with yours truly, Kenny D. We're going to go take a very, very short pause right after some music, so make sure you don't touch that dial. I got some music for you. You know, it's a throwback Thursday, so when was the last time you heard this song?
You so clever. You still have to make a you design to be the dancer. If for me, I know that we don't turn you in a me lover. Tell me what me near me want to knock you with me hammer. Then make me get back and drop ya, master. First time me see you with a walk in a maca. Now me see you when me want to burn up in a fire. All up in a phone like a thinking filler with a girl ya wine she look like Mama Killer. One touch me, burn me like pepper. But you did it, you turn me a la. She will know walk forever, you la.
She is the dancer queen for life. Gonna explode like dynamite. And she's moving out of sight to pick up and shut the place like dynamite. She's a dancer queen for life. Gonna explode like dynamite. And she's moving out of sight to pick up and shut the place like dynamite.
Just a walk with the dancer queen. Who are the crown of the one and a pain. When I'm out house when Miss Lady come in. Then everybody starts screaming. Where the girl come from nobody don't know. She's a devil angel and she's a go-go. Is this girl human and she's a yo-yo? Ask me I don't know but all me know. When Nicky chop down African star. Missy bus, Missy chop, Missy bike, Missy car. Night time come and video light it turn on. Somebody start to alarm.
Watch me now, she can conquer the session. With a cute face, a create no hitting on the place.
Midnight lover. Let them know. Stop another. Let them know that. So what? Sex about a girl, what? Sex about a girl from New York, hear me now. Sex about a girl from London, hear me now. Sex about a girl from Jamaica, hear me now. Then if you sex about a body, not talk.
All right, I just got a notice from the Ministry of Education. I'm going to read that in just a bit, and then we're going to take a very short pause for calls. Right after that, we're going to be joined by Selected Diddy of Sister Soldiers.
First of all, I love the way.
You know, we're going to be chit-chatting with her, you know, about so many different things, man. So I've seen that she's been doing some great things from a philanthropist side of things and everything. So we are going to talk to her about all of that and everything she has to come, all right? Might give you one more song, and then we're going to go take a little read from that release from the Ministry of Education, then a commercial break, then we're going to join Selected Diddy. Stick around.
Sexy body girl from New York, hear me now. Sexy body girl from Jamaica, hear me now. Sexy body girl from London, hear me now. Girl, if you sexy word, why do you talk? Knock it off, put it one.
Special good morning greeting going out to Rachel. Look a problem. Good morning to you.
Send me a big romance. Nothing away, girl, so I still. And when you come to woman, Rasta know me no play. Me have to love them up for me say night and day. I make them keep coming back, see them wake up. Sexy body girl from New York, hear me now. Sexy body girl from Jamaica, hear me now. Sexy body girl from around the world, hear me now. Girl, if you sexy body, you talk. Sexy body girl from Boya, hear me now. Sexy body girl from Jamaica, hear me now. Sexy body girl from London, hear me now. Girl, if you sexy body, you talk well. Move your body and roll up, yes, me girl. You get me out of control, yes, me girl. Can you not trouble a soul, yes, me girl. Now Mr. Lava make you jump and roll up. You move your body and roll, yes, me girl. You get me out of control, yes, me girl. Can you not trouble a soul, yes, me girl. Now Mr. Lava make you jump and roll up. Check out the watch, check out the chart, check out the motion. Girl, you alone cause all this commotion. Woman, your body lick me like a locomotion. Let me get all a sing for the promotion. Woman, when you move, you better move cautious. Just the motion of the ocean makes me nauseous. Man, I look up for your body from your fetus. Because them look up at your mama, how she gorgeous. Sexy body girl from New York, hear me now. Sexy body girl from London, hear me now. Sexy body girl from Jamaica, hear me now. Girl, if you sexy body, you talk, yeah. Sexy body girl from New York, hear me now. Sexy body girl from London, hear me now. Sexy body girl from Jamaica, hear me now.
Your love fulfills my every need. I love that strong. I love that sweet. For the world to see. Do you believe in me?
Do you believe?
To never change.
Never change.
To always be.
Always be.
Everlasting love.
Everlasting, blasting.
There have been times when you doubt my feelings. Your misconceptions by me leaves me grieving. I try so hard to stop you, girl, from leaving. So baby, please embrace this love. I love that strong, I love that sweet. For the world to see. Do you believe in me? To never change, to always be. Oh.
All right, folks, of course, you know, we are going to go and take a little read from this press release coming out of the Ministry of Education. You know, we're living in some interesting times, and a lot of things have been changing. A lot of things have been happening in regards to normalcy, if you want to call it that. So here's a release from the Ministry of Education, and the headline for the release is cancellation of the grades 2, 4, and 6 national examinations. The Ministry of Education, Science and Technology, by this release, wishes to officially inform the public of the cancellation of the 2020 national examinations at the primary education level. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, 290 million students around the world, including 20,000 students in Antigua and Barbuda, are out of school. Widespread disruptions to traditional classroom instructional time have left syllabuses and school-based projects incomplete and other examination preparations fragmented. Gallant efforts to engage students continue as teachers, students, and parents continue to transition and adapt to remote learning. Yet, even with the best efforts, not all homes have equal or even equitable levels of accessibility. Most importantly, education remains deeply concerned about the mental and physical well-being of students who need I think I need glasses, who need as much certainty as possible at an uncertain time, having to face high stress exams at this juncture of heightened anxiety for the fear of uncertain as the fear brought about by COVID-19, as well as the loss of peer interaction and disrupted routines. After widespread consultations and only after practically examining several possibilities, the difficult decision was taken to cancel the 2020 national primary and school assessments. All right, so it's going to go on to state here that the grades 2 and 4 assessments routinely held at the end of May are formative in nature and administered chiefly for developmental reasons. The grade 6 national assessment, customarily set for the beginning of June, is the final evaluation for primary school students at the grade 6 level entering into the secondary school system. This assessment is principally for replacement processes. In lieu of an examination, grade 6 students will be assigned and offered placements in public secondary schools using data generated at the school level from continuous in-school assessments, particularly classwork, homework, project, and tests. All right? Placements of students in secondary school for the ensuing academic year. The 1,451 students registered at the grade 6 level for the 2019-2020 academic year will be offered placements in public secondary schools through one of the 4 formulas. Now, here are the formulas, okay? 1, your place of residence. Students will be assigned placement in a public secondary school nearest their place of residence and with available space. The second one is special education needs placement. Students with special education needs will be assigned to the public school best suited to meet their special educational needs and requirements. Health and safety placement. A restricted number of students will be assigned at the discretion of the Director of Education based solely on the strength of written requests to consider special health and safety circumstances which compel alternative placement. So what I would like to imagine that is for whatever reason you think that the child may not be safe in a particular school, you can write and make a request, and they will see if they can move that child to a different school for you based upon that request. Okay? And the last one is the outstanding achiever placement. Outstanding achievers will be offered placement at Antigua Girls High School and the Antigua Grammar School or any other preferred public secondary school on availability of space based on his or her ranked performance at the primary school level. Schools will rank each grade 6 students based on his or her performance in term 1 and mid of term 2 and submit information to the measurement of evaluation unit. The data will inform students' placement based on the table below. All right? So they have our system here, and I hope you can get a copy of it. I'm not quite sure how the system works, and I don't want to read it over the air and confuse anybody. So I'm going to try to link up with somebody in the ministry to explain this a little bit. I have a son who is in grade 6, so supposed to be writing, doing his exams this year. So I have a vested interest in this. Now, the Ministry of Education, Science, and Technology continues to support education institutions in strengthening remote learning programs and formulating a phased plan for reopening of schools. Okay. So if you're in the school, the school size is large, like the number of graders is 29 plus. There's 19 schools that are like that. I'll get this information from somebody who can break it down and explain it. But so if you have somebody, a child that's going to be, that's in grade 6, there's 4 ways he can be placed into a school. He can be placed based on his residence, where he lives, any special education needs, any health and safety placement, and if he's he or she, I say he because I have a son, so I'm just kind of putting that on him. But if he or she is an outstanding achiever placement, then they can be placed into the Antigua Girls High School or the Antigua Grammar School. All right, guys, let's go take this very short pause for cause. I'm going to be joined by Selector Didi in just a bit. We're going to be chit-chatting about so many different things. It's going to be a good conversation, man. So we're going to jump into that. It's all about the Mass Breathers Morning Show. Don't forget, this would not be possible without the support of Radio Shack and ACT, without the support of Antigua Distillery and Premier Beverages, and without the support of Subway.
Hey neighbor, what's up?
Hey man, Karen's complaining about the noise. I'm gonna need you to turn down the music a little bit. Oh, Shaq! Is that the new Radio Shack self-powered wireless speaker system? That subwoofer looks beautiful.
Yeah.
And is that the 4-channel mixer with the built-in SD card reader?
Yeah, it's pretty...
Oh my, Shaq! You got the battery-operated 12-inch PA speaker as well?
Well, Radio Shack is my go-to place for all my DJ and audio gear, with the best prices in town.
Awesome. And is that a Bluetooth... Wait, DJ Kenny, are you having a party? How come we weren't invited?
Visit Radio Shack today for all your audio needs.
Subway for you, Subway for me.
Subway, Reckless Street is open for delivery and curbside pickup orders only. So go to the Quick Serve website or download the app for delivery orders. Or call us at 562-5539 or 562-5639 to place your orders for curbside pickup at Subway. We are here for you.
Subway for you, Subway for me.
Whew, that workout was intense. Let's grab some water.
No problem. I'll go get it. Here you go, Jess.
Think you said you were going to get water.
So, what's this?
I need a water that is just as good as that workout.
Okay.
I only drink Oasis water because it's the most trusted brand and the only locally produced water that is internationally certified.
Wait, a big thing's that?
Yeah, it's the only water that tests in their own lab at Dunbar's and sent to Canada for further testing.
So you would tell me Oasis have a Canadian visa and me not have none yet?
All I'm saying, trust the brand. It's so good, it's asked for by name.
So what am I to do with this water, yeah?
Well, you can go home and throw them in your iron.
Oasis Water, a product of the Antigua Distillery and distributed island-wide by Premier Beverages.
That's right. Welcome back. Of course, you know, it's all about the Mass Breathers Morning Show right here with yours truly, Kenny D. I have a very special guest here that I'm going to bring on with me right now. You know, working hard as usual. Let me say a very special good morning greeting going out to Selected Diddy. What's going on, Selected Diddy? How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you doing this morning?
I'm great. It's a wonderful day. It's the eve of the weekend, as we normally say.
Yes.
Things are kind of different right now in Antigua and Barbuda. So, you know, we just
especially your
enjoy it.
beard and your haircut. Very different this morning.
Yeah, well, you see, I can't. Barbershops and beauty salons are
I'm
still,
just pulling your leg.
still closed.
I
so,
know.
You know, so.
But can you hear me fine? Because I'm not even like running through the computer. I have my mixer and everything hooked up. So
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you fine. Let me ask the guests out there, folks who are listening. Can you hear her? Can you hear her fine? If you can hear her fine, you can just give me a thumbs up in the chat or anything. But I'm hearing you fine. So once I'm hearing you fine, everybody else should be hearing you fine
all right,
as well.
good stuff. Good
All
stuff.
right. So welcome to the Mass Breathers Morning Show. You know, they say persons who are accustomed of doing certain things, when you are forced to stay home, you might find inventive ways to continue to express yourself. And the Mass Breathers Morning Show came out as a part of that. I just didn't want to be home not doing anything. So I started this and it took on a whole life of its own. The beautiful thing about this and, you know, creating your own content is you get to speak to people who you want to talk to. You get to interview and talk to people who you find cool. You know, you don't have to follow anybody's particular mandate. You get to follow your own in a sense. So, you know, I get a chance to speak to people who I find interested, and you're one of the persons who, you know, I've always wanted to have a sit-down conversation with and talk about a couple of things. So
thank you so much for having me this morning. I really appreciate it. I mean, given the fact that we've been celebrating our anniversary this month.
Yes.
Today's the last day of April, so nice way to end the month off with a little interview about the anniversary.
And that's where I want to start. So, you know, let's take it back, way back before there was actually a Sister Soldiers. What prompted what prompted that? What got you into playing music? What got you into all of that?
Well, I've been into music from a really young age. I can remember growing up at home between my mother and my brothers. I was exposed to a lot of music, different genres, from reggae, dancehall, pop, country, western, R&B, soul, different types of genres, right? So
Mhm.
been a part of my household from a really young age. And my mom loves music, my brothers love music. So naturally, when I started to grow up and could collect my own music, I started to do that. And I started with CDs. Then I started to download MP3s when file sharing became popular and the internet
Mhm.
started to become popular. And I think I was in like first form also at the time, and I was online and I just happened to come across this virtual mixer. It was called Auto Mix at the time.
Mhm.
I think
Mhm.
it's like the foundation software for virtual DJ. That's what they
Yes.
used to call
Yeah.
it back
Mm.
then. And I downloaded it. I mean, at the time, I can remember one of my family members, Gath Purcell. He
Mhm.
had a little sound system thing going with his schoolmates at academy. So I can remember him dabbling in that. And I mean, I was a student of music. I used to play the piano and the pan, so I have an ear for music. And I literally just took my music collection one day, loaded up the program, and taught myself how to mix. I didn't at the time there was no second sound card. I couldn't hear myself. There were just waves, and I mean, obviously, I could beat match because I was a music student. So I just taught myself like that, and that's how I would do it throughout the whole of high school. Just fiddle with auto mix and continue to collect music. At the time, rhythms were coming up, people were sharing rhythms online, and I just started to build my archives like that. And after high school, well, during high school, I met G and Shaka, that's Sword Adley Soldiers.
Right. Right.
They started a sound in the Virgin Islands as
Mhm.
well. I thought that was pretty cool. And upon leaving high school, I spoke to G and I'm like, G, I want to do this. I think I can do this, but I want to create a female version to what you guys are doing.
Mhm.
So that's how this whole Sister Soldiers name came about because we were really tight. I would go to their gigs with them. They would refer
Right.
to me as their little sister. So
Right.
I
Do
thought it was
you
fitting.
do you remember the first CD you ever bought, or
The
even where
first,
you bought, or even where you bought it?
yes, I was not a DJ as yet though. I was a kid. The first CD I bought was probably, I mean, other than stealing my brother's CDs and taking them out, I mean, they were into like Tupac, Bone Thugs,
Mhm.
Dre, Snoop,
Right. 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 Right.
Babyface, R.
Right.
Kelly. Um, but outside of that, early 2000s, my first CD was probably Marshall Mathers LP, Eminem. I was a
Mhm.
huge,
Mhm.
I still am a huge hip hop fan. But at the time, I was really into hip hop as well. So you had the Little Kims, the DMX, the Missy Elliott's, the Rough
Wow.
Rider, the Eves. All these CDs I have in my collection. I probably still have some of them for today. Drew Hill, Cisco.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That solo Cisco album, the Unleashed
Foxy
Dragon album.
Brown, Jay-Z,
Yeah.
Ja
Yeah.
Rule, Murder Inc.
Okay.
Yeah, Lil Bow Wow, The Brat, Tyrese.
I don't think
Yo,
people
too
remember
numerous
how
to mention,
big.
man. It's a lot.
I don't think people remember how big some of those artists were back in the day. Even like someone like Bow Wow. Bow
Yes,
Wow was huge
it's huge. Yes, he was.
back in the day. He was arguably the biggest artist in the world
Yes.
at his peak. You know what I'm saying? And you listen some. I remember like back in the day what we used to do. When the CDs was a big thing, we used to go to music shop and they used to allow you to listen to some CDs and so on.
Mm-hmm.
I used to do a lot of that, man. I used to listen to a ton of CDs down there. I remember that the CDs used to cost
$50.
15 to 20, yeah, 15 to 20
US.
US.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
used to cop
boy,
from there too. Yeah.
I'm telling you. And in
We would
those
go
times,
there after school actually and just
it, wa-
listen
it,
to
was, it was,
music.
yeah, it was a hangout. It was a lime.
And
So
then go ahead.
the music bug hit. You wanted to start a song. Who were the original members when you started Sister Soldiers? Who
When
was
I
it that who started? Boom, let's go and do this together.
Well, when I first started, I was hanging out with a friend of mine very often, Mix, DJ Mix. He actually gave me my first copy of Virtual DJ now. So it was no more Auto Mix, it's Virtual
Right,
DJ.
right.
And he had a friend, Ita, So I
Mm.
met Ita through Mix. So he would pick me up and then go pick her up or vice versa. And then we will all hang out and go to Bikini Sundays or go to
Mm.
Rush or whatever
Mm.
parties out at the time. That was our little clique. So I got acquainted with Ita that way and she became my friend. And I realized how much knowledgeable she was about music, especially dancehall reggae.
Right.
And at the time, starting the sound, that's what I was focusing on. Dancehall reggae, the whole sound system culture.
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And we would go out and like some real, even going by her and hanging with her and listening to her music catalog. We really like old school reggae artists. I can remember my mom listening to as well. And I'm like, wow, Ita seems to knows a lot of reggae music. That's pretty cool. Apart from that, she has a very dope personality, very fun, witty, always talking a bunch of crap. So I'm like, she fits the perfect mold for an MC. And one night I just asked, I'm like, yo, I want to start this song and you'd be the perfect MC. And she never shied away from it. She was like, yeah, let's do this. And we finally mustered up the courage after going to Bikini Sundays for a few weeks. And we spoke to Irish of Renegade Sound. And they gave us the strength. I think one night they allowed us to practice at the sound yard with Mad Ras and a few other guys. And the following Sunday, Sister Soldiers was born. That was April the 23rd, 2006 at Bikini Sundays. That was our first event as Sister Soldiers.
So what was that like? Were you nervous? What do you
As
remember?
hell, of course.
Do you remember what was the first song you played?
Of course, of course.
Tell me.
The first song we played was Barrington Livy, Vice Versa Love.
Oh wow, what was the reaction of the crowd when that was the first song?
Well, Ita came and gave her little speech and her little whoa, yeah, and everybody was like, "Wow, girls controlling." Like at first, everybody was stunned. Like you could see, like, huh? Because I'm not saying we're the first to ever do it, but at the time, it was not happening. Like we were the only girls at the time doing it. So everybody was like, wow. But then when the song hit, and Ita is talking over the levels and she's, singing and, pushing the lyrics, everybody started to sing. At one point, she lowered the levels and everybody was singing. And that felt so good. It was like, wow. Because, even as an onlooker, you hear people debut and you hear sounds play for the first time. And it's not always their best set because of nerves, maybe because the crowd not feeling the songs of choice, whatever it may be. And for me, that was a huge hurdle that we crossed being the first time that we played. It just break the ice really good.
All right, that's
Yeah.
lovely. So who joined after that? Who was the next set of persons to join? Because I think you guys were a deep team at one point in time. Who joined after that?
Still are. Like the thing is, I have a handful of female friends, and anything that I've, really been pushing or trying to do, they're always there for me. So you may not see them physically on the sound at the time, but they're always there in the background. So even with Ita, my best friend Joelle, that's MC Five Stepper right now, she was a part of the movement. I mean, anytime we would go out to Bikini Sundays, she's there with me too. At the time, her interest was volleyball. Like I knew that she loved music, dance, and she would come out come out with us at times, but her love was volleyball. So at first, when I wanted to start, it wasn't like okay, let me go ask Joelle. Like I didn't it was not that apparent to me at the time. But after about a year in, Ita actually had to leave. She had to leave for work. She traveled and was working for some time. And I needed an MC. And, it was a no-brainer. Joelle was always there, supporting us and cheering us on. And she too, very witty personality, very bold. Her personality is very bold. So I'm like, Joelle, you're gonna have to really pick up the mantle. And again, There was no objection. There was no hell no, I'm not going to be doing this. She was very supportive. And ever since then, it's been her ever since then. I
And
know for a while
go ahead.
she was missing because she was going to school in Cuba for a couple of years.
Mhm.
And during the time, we probably would play during the summer or when she would come home on vacation. And that's where Ebony came in as well, Ebony Brandon. I met her, over some time, and she joined the sound. So she would then, play when Joel was not here. I
Okay.
cut you off. You were going to ask me something. Sorry. about
Yes. No problem. What was it like that first couple of times that you worked along with Joel? Because people don't know she has other sound people in her family.
Yes. Big up
So-
the Taliban of
Yes.
young jugglers.
Yes.
Also very influential in our upcoming, Jamie
Yeah.
in the earlies was very helpful in terms of just support as well. And her brother, he MC and select as well. So
Mhm,
she had that around her. And she too loved music. Don't get me wrong. She probably is more of a R&B souls type person, but she loves her reggae, her dancehall, other genres same way. So it was very easy. Joel is my best friend. We always run in jokes. We know each other very well. Like we call each other aliens. Sometimes we show up for a gig and we don't plan an outfit and we're color coordinated. And we're like, how I was gonna wear that color, So we're really in sync, to be honest. Our chemistry is there.
Okay.
So we just had to add some music to that, and it was seamless. It was really seamless. We never really had a huge chemistry issue. And over time, it becomes smoother and smoother and smoother until you can just shut your eyes and she knows what's going on.
So what was the first clash?
Your mic is low.
Yeah, it seems that way. Let me see something. I'm not sure what happened here.
Pardon me?
One second. One second.
Yeah, I think your mic fell out.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing your device mic and not your mic.
Yeah, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah.
Okay, you're good. You see, it's good to have a sound girl interviewing so I can tell if you're having technical issues. And anybody else would be like, oh, just turn up your mic. Well, I could tell the difference.
So what was the first clash like? What was the first clash you guys entered?
Well, the first clash we entered, it was not with Joel. Joel was away during this time.
Mm-hmm.
The first clash we entered at the time now, I would have then recruited Ebony Brandon, and we would have entered the Wadadley Island clash. I'm actually looking at the trophy right now. In
wow.
2010, we decided to enter the Wadadley Island clash. First time a full female son has ever entered as well.
Okay, so how
Unfortunately, we weren't successful, but we made it to tune for tune, and
who won
Fifth
that year?
beat us.
Yeah, I remember that. I remember that year.
Got the silver trophy that year. They got the gold trophy.
So, question: how was the connection made with Ebony Brandon? How did that happen?
I was actually away for a while in 2000 and what was it? 9? Yes, I actually used to work for Sunprint, and that's a company of Stanford. So in 2009, we were laid off. They locked him up. Everybody lost their jobs. Blah 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 blah. I decided to go to the States for a while, probably 5 going on to 6 months. So during that time, I was not here. I was in the States. I probably played a few gigs. I remember going over to New York, linking up with Dancehall Connect, doing an event over there with them. Big up to Dancehall Connect, my first event in New York. So big up yourselves for that. So, we were a bit dormant in Antigua for that time. And after I came back in 2010, Rhea G as well was playing the sound. That's Laria. Because we recruited her as well. She approached and said, she likes what we were doing. She can DJ. And I knew Rhea from primary school. So I'm like, hey, why not? She
Right,
knew what
right,
she was doing. So, hey, more talent on the team, right?
right.
So Ria G was in Antigua playing, keeping it up. I was away. And then when I came back, Ria was telling me about this MC that she met, and she had a few gigs and she was there and she ended up MCing for her, and it was pretty cool. And people are assuming she's a part of Sister Soldiers now. And I didn't meet her, but I remember one night going out playing as well. And again, same situation. I ended up playing by myself, and she's like, "Yo, let me MC for you." And she came and she MC for me, and we just shelled down the party. And she was on the radio at the time, so she
Right.
asked me if I would want to come on the radio and play with her and stuff. So we never any opportunity for growth, any opportunity for letting people know who we are. So I'm like, sure. So after doing that a few times, people just kept saying, Ebony's a part of, like, they just kept assuming that Ebony is a very strong personality. She's her own woman. She was Ebony Brandon, the radio personality.
Right, right.
So I was a bit intimidated to ask her, because I'm like, she's been doing this long before me. She have her brand going. Like,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna ask her that, being my little shy self. So one year we got this opportunity to market for White Party on her show.
Right.
And they paid us, and I would come and do the promotion with her up until the event. And then it was just during that time, she's like, "Gabby, I best me just join the sauna." It was just so organic. It wasn't planned or anything. And I'm like, why not? And that was that. So again, another talented female just coming around, gelling well together, and just decide to be a part of what we were doing. So, big up to Ebony wherever you're at. We made a lot of strides with her, especially in the clashing arena, because she's a beast on the clash stage. They call her War Angel. And I'm pretty sure those of you who know Ebony know her personality when she's on that clash stage. We did a clash in Brooklyn together as well.
Right.
And the following year, 2011, we went back and we won with that, the Island Clash. Same sound in tune for tune, but we came back harder and we won.
So I was gonna ask you, my next question was, so what was the first clash you won? But you just answered that. So I'm
yes,
gonna change
with
the
that,
question.
the Island Clash 2011, we won that clash.
All right. What was the first dub plate you remember buying?
Buying. I can't the first it's crazy. The first dub plate I ever bought with my own hard-earned, hard-back money after sweating for weeks was Barrington Levy.
Which one? Which song from him?
Murderer.
Oh wow. Okay.
Tell them already, now go tell them again. And the funny thing about that, I was there, like, he was in Antigua for a show. I forgot that one. I think it was One Nation. He was here for a show, and I knew the promoters. So me being a part of the sound culture, I always wanted a Barrington Levy. My thing is, I don't mind cutting dubs, but I'm very skeptical. I don't want to send my money to any and anybody, and if I can be there, that's even better. So knowing that Barrington Levy was going to be here, I reached out to the promoters, asked them about doing a dub session, reached out to the sound fraternity, asked some sounds if they needed some dubs, hooked it up before he got here. When he got here, I linked him to do that. I guess the promoters were so blown away by how I handled everything. They actually hired me to be his concierge for the weekend. So I ended up like driving him around, dealing with him. And I cut it at the Irie studio in Hodges Bay. That's Hanny and friends. Yes.
Irie Fire Studios.
Irie Fire, right. And it was a good experience. He looked miserable, but it was a decent experience. He kind of fixed up the words to fit with what we had going on, being an all-female sound, the only all-female sound out of Antigua. So I like that. And I couldn't take any videos. He didn't want any videos of himself. But if you hear the dub plate, it's real. And everybody knew I was rolling with him that weekend. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And a
Now,
couple songs got dubs cut as well too.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, you went live on Facebook yesterday, and you were talking about a certain charitable effort that you're a
Yeah.
part of. You want to let the people know more about that?
Sure. Long and short, in a couple of weeks, well, I'm a part of this online radio platform called My Turn Radio.
Mhm.
So it's a radio station for only female DJs and hosts.
Mhm.
So Sister Soldiers is a part of that platform. One of the DJs that live in Atlanta, DJ Emp Love, she created this whole initiative called the Wawa Initiative. And what that is, it's an initiative for giving back to essential workers during this time. So basically, what we're going to do is a live-a-thon. So for 24 hours on the 8th to the 9th of May, each entity, because it's a all-female cast of entertainers,
Right.
comedians, hosts, DJs, each entity is going to dedicate 2 hours to go live to raise funds for an essential worker that they nominate. So the whole purpose of this is to give back to essential worker. Some places in the world, when you don't work, you don't get paid. And a lot of people are working overtime without any rest or any kind of break in between. So the whole idea is to donate to essential workers so they can take a few days away from work.
Okay.
So Sister Soldiers, we will be on from 9 to 11 on the 9th of May on the My Turn Radio platform. That's www.myturnradio.com. And we will be dedicating 2 hours live on air so we can give back to an essential worker.
Do you have somebody in mind yet?
Pardon me?
Do you have somebody in mind yet?
Well, I don't want to choose it. I didn't want to be biased because I know so many essential workers.
right, okay.
So what we decided to do is have our supporters and our friends and family help us to make that choice.
Okay.
So what we did, we're asking persons, if you know anybody in Antigua and Barbuda or from Antigua and Barbuda that's working as an essential worker, it should just simply inbox us their names, and then at the end, probably maybe a few days before we go live, we make that choice. But it cannot be everybody. We have to choose one person.
Right.
So
I understand.
we need
All
some help.
All right.
Yeah.
So what's next for Sister Soldiers?
Oh, next. Well, I was supposed to be doing some traveling. We were hoping to do some touring this year, touch Europe, UK. But all that is on a standstill for now. So just to push our radio program more, get more content, interview more people. And besides that, I want to launch a podcast. Outside of the music space, I'm a creative. I'm a graphic designer, web designer. I am big on small business branding. So I think now is a good time to, use my services and try to help persons around me. We are all locked up inside. I think we all can work on our brands and refresh. So I thought about doing a podcast geared towards DJs, selectors, and sound systems concerning branding in the reggae and dancehall space. So for about 10 weeks, once a week, I want to do an episode explaining the different practices and giving tips, to stay relevant right now during what's going on. So that's something I'll be working on in the near future. I want to launch it next month. And apart from that, I will also be dropping a new mixtape. It's called Modern Girl. And it's a mixtape with all female reggae artists, but the more newer ones. So you have Africa, you have Jazzalee, you have Savannah, Leela, Coffee, Janine, and a few others on this tape. So it will be their songs and also songs that feature them. So you'll hear some males here and there in the mix, but it will be a mix featuring all of these female artists, and it's called Modern Girl.
Okay. So your
That's
radio
pretty
show
much
is
it. Just keep abreast with what's going on and just adapt as much as we can.
So your radio show is tonight, right?
Yes, it's every Thursday on myturnradio.com. We start at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and it ends at 9 p.m. And again, if you want to check it out, you can go straight to the website, www.myturnradio.com. There's also a My Turn Radio app in the Google Play Store. And for iPhones, there's an app called Stream Jams. That's STREAMJAMZ, one word. Once you search that in the Apple Store, you'll find My Turn Radio in the list of radio stations. It's the last one. You can't miss it. You'll see the logo and everything.
All right, then.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, Didi, I want to say thank you for joining me here today. Of course, it's a pleasure speaking with you whenever I get the opportunity.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to some more great things from Sister Soldiers going into the future. Any final words for your fans?
Just thank you so much for supporting us over the past 14 years. As Joel likes to say, without supporters, we would not be this far. So, that's really, really appreciated. And just stay safe. I know everybody's mental health, which is very important to me too, may not be the best right now, but, just hold firm. We're all going through it, help each other out. If you don't feel good, tell a friend, speak up, and, just be there for one another and stay inside. If you don't need to be outside, stay inside.
Yeah, man, tap it, yeah.
And if you want to follow us and, go to our social media platforms, you can go to our website. It's www.sistershub.com. That's SISTAHSHUB.com. And that will take you to Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You can subscribe. And just follow our movements. We're always updating our pages and letting our followers and supporters know what's up. So
all right,
you can't miss a beat with us.
Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. And again,
thank you for having me. Stay safe and all the best with your show moving forward.
All right.
Hopefully, I can see you in person soon. We don't have to be talking through a camera.
It's so weird. We don't live that far from each other, right? But when I left my yard.
Wow. So even after they open up, you're gonna be staying in.
You have to give it a little.
This is your new way of life.
You have to give it a breathing period. You have to give it some breathing space.
So you're just gonna make people be like guinea pigs out there to see what happened, and then you'll come out.
I guess if you want to put it that way, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, you have to give it some breathing space. You have to make it say, okay, cool. Is it safe or is it safe?
Okay.
If it's
you want it to be safe. Got you.
Yes, definitely. All right. Well, thank you once again. All right. And it was a pleasure speaking with you.
Okay.
All right. So, of course, it's all about the Mass Breathers Morning Show, people. I gotta go make some breakfast, man. I gotta get out of here. Gotta go find something to eat. Thank you for joining me here this morning. It's always a pleasure when we can have all these people on and we can have some guests on and have some great conversations. So until next time, peace and love. And once again, tune into the Mass Breathers Morning Show tomorrow. On Saturday, we're going to do our Soca Saturdays. On Sunday, it's all about Reggae Sundays. And then the Mass Breathers Morning Show runs from Monday to Friday. I got some other shows coming your way as well. Look out for them very soon. Anyhow, peace. I'm out.